I think one of the problems I have with Magic at the moment is like next set, like every new set is a very very small high, right? A very small high for a very short amount of time, and then you're just waiting for the next set again. So it's like something has to change in Magic, right? Because there's just like no in between. You get this like huge supernova explosion, and then it immediately just fizzles out. So it's like I would rather have like I don't know things change a little bit over time, so it feels like there's like a bit of progression or something. You said inscription for it's so good. 2 months, 2 months, huh? Kind of like Coke. I mean, I'm not even gonna comment, but yeah, you don't get that high with Magic. Like that's all I'm trying to say here. But yeah, I'm not sure. Like it's not even about winning or losing, right? It's just I don't know. I was not that interested in it. Just not that excited about it. Like the first week or whatever is very exciting, right? Like we're playing all the time and it's fun. Then after that, it's like, well, time to take a Magic vacation and do something else. I think that's the difference between Magic Arena and game stores, and why Magic has to change what they do is because back in paper, people can't play this much, right? Like you can't play this much in paper. No matter how much you draft a set in paper, you almost never get bored of it unless it's a core set. But now that people like me are just spamming like hundreds on hundreds of runs even in a single set, you need to change that system a little bit. Like you can't have the same system where it's like, well, people are never going to get bored of the set because people get bored of the set like 8 times faster than they did before. Sets 3 cards, you prefer they release a portion of a set each week? No, I don't think that's a good way to do it. But something like say like Appendix A, Appendix B, or something like that. I think that's basically what they did with anthologies, right? For historic, but it's like you have your normal set, and then it'll be like, okay, like 1 month in, we'll add like 10 cards or something like that. 2 months in, we'll add another 10 cards or something like that, right? Like the numbers could be just whatever, but that's why we have Alchemy and everyone hates it. I mean, I think Alchemy was Magic the Gathering's most drunken gamble. And it's not even a gamble, it's just like I don't know. It's like going to the strip in Vegas and just like putting putting your whole life savings on black. It's just I don't really get it. It's like people like me and Jeff Hooglin and Noxious and I think there are quite a few other people as well, right? I think Ollie talked about it quite a bit as well about having Magic be this thing that is not static. And really, the only non-static thing in Magic were like bans, right? So things would change when certain things got banned or restricted, etc. And then outside of that, you just had to wait for new sets. But if you could have a Magic Gathering that's more dynamic, that's more dynamic and not static, then people would be interested for much longer, right? And you always have to balance that between people who don't play that much and people who play way too much. But the thing about Alchemy is that they did it in a way that didn't seem very organic to Magic itself. So I'm not saying like RNG stuff is bad or whatever. Like like random effects are fine, I think, but random effects can't be random for random's sake, right? It's like it has to be this interesting card that becomes more interesting once you apply the digital element to it. Certain mechanics like Seek, for example, I think Seek goes far beyond what Magic the Gathering should be, where you're like generating and finding these random cards that your opponent has no information on, right? It's like if for example Seek were revealed to your opponent as well, then there's actually counterplay to it and stuff, and that's a little bit more interesting. But all in all, I think Alchemy was very short-sighted, I think that it's not bad to like try new things, but it's a lot of times it's more about the how more so than the what. And I think a lot of why Magic has kind of why Magic viewership, and I'm pretty sure player base as well, has diminished over like the past maybe half year to a year, is for a variety of things. Part of that I think is the announcement of competitive play. A lot of people just don't care anymore, right? Like whether I'm rank 1 mythic or rank like 1 million rank 1 million bronze, like there's no difference. Not that there's really a difference before, but like before, in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, well, maybe at some point it could be different, but now people don't have that in the back of their mind. But secondly, is the sort of approach with alchemy, historic, uh, it's just felt really weird. It's just like really disconnected. Um, For me, Magic the Gathering, obviously, it has been a lot different since I become a streamer, and I just like no longer really play for fun, right? Like, I used to like going out to the local game store, doing F&Ms and stuff, playing for fun. It's not really like that anymore for me. But it it all on top of all of that, it has felt really disconnected for me. It feels like Magic is like if it feels like it's just a game. It's like just a game. There's nothing really special about it. There's like nothing more to it. Maybe people who play EDH, that's different, right? People have friend groups and stuff, and you have a good old time playing like uh, uh essentially playing a Settlers of Catan that cost thousands of dollars. Um, but yeah, so something about just in the last year, like sets are pretty decent, I think, right? The Intershot sets were whatever for me, but I think they were fine. Dungeons and Dragons was like pretty whatever, but pretty good for a core set, and that's fine. But it feels like there's nothing happening. There's just nothing. I don't know. Whereas one final thing is that other games, right, Battlegrounds, TFT, have been really pushing the envelope, trying to make their game better, trying to entice more players, and those games have been very successful, right? So it's it's a combination of a lot of things for me, I think. And I don't even think that it's necessarily that I like Magic less. It's just like the things around Magic made it kind of special, I think. But there's something really lacking, and I don't know how we can fix it. Huey Jensen is now like head of competitive player or whatever that is, right? Like director of competitive play, Magic the Gathering's last hope. But I think that even with the skill set that Huey has, I find it really hard to believe that Magic can kind of come back from this for at least a few years. Because it's not like you can just design a new organized play and then everyone will be like, "Woo! All right, back on the wagon." Right? People have already moved on to do other stuff. People have been invested in other games, whether it's like smaller games like Storybook Brawl or maybe for playing Elden Ring or whatever else. Right? It's just hard to get people back. Um, yeah, like it's much easier for someone who's like unhealthy or already healthy to like keep them healthy. Whereas like somebody who's dying, like it's really, really hard to get them back from that. Basically need a miracle. So yeah, I mean that's kind of my thoughts on Magic the Gathering at the moment. And I'm still trying to stream as much as I can. The viewership numbers, subscribers, and everything really aren't there for Magic. Um, part of that is because I've been traveling a lot as well, and I'm here in Thailand trying to figure out life situation and visa stuff before I can get back into a normal schedule. But yeah, just kind of explaining a little bit, I guess, on how I feel about Magic and kind of why I think that I don't know, Magic the Gathering may not have that strong of a future. At least the near future, right? I think EDH, without EDH, I actually think Magic would possibly die. You know, everyone will have that sort of friend, MTG Finance Bro or something like that. He'll be like, no, 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 Magic the Gathering, blah blah blah. And then they'll talk about like Hasbro stocks and other random shit. But yeah, I really think EDH is like the only thing that's holding Magic together. Yesterday, someone in our chat said that they opened a foil Tameo at pre-release, and a foil Tameo is $8. I don't think in my days playing Paper Magic I've ever seen an $8 foil Planeswalker. Like what? I don't even get it. But yeah, so who knows? I'm still gonna try to continue streaming Magic as much as we can. I do have my thoughts and my sights on maybe trying some other stuff here. Maybe a Storybook Brawl, maybe it's back to TFT, maybe I start a secondary channel, but my viewership here is shit anyways. So we'll really have to see. But yeah, who knows? Maybe I just need to find something else to do and that's like not streaming as well. Who knows? But yeah. Anyways, guys, that is gonna be it for me today.